tell me when you, okay.
So it's being recorded, and are we
Lovely.
televised too, Bill?
I don't want to put this on the plan.
Minutes ago?
Yeah.
So I will call to order the this meeting of the Planning Board of the Town of Wenham for Thursday, May 11th, 2023. We're meeting in person at Town Hall. The time is a little bit after 7 p.m., 7:04, is that right? I can't see. 03. The first, with me, because we're recording it, with me is Peter Clay, the vice chairperson, Dan Pasquarello, and who are you? No, Rick Woodland. I'm Ann Weeks, the chair of the board. We had a big win today, so I'm pretty giddy. The first item we have is a plan, an A&R, which is approval not required, but it's for our information, and I wonder if you want to tell us what's happening here. Pretty basic.
Lot line adjustment.
Just identify yourself.
Yes,
Griffin
yes.
Engineering, Beverly, Massachusetts, on behalf of the applicant, John Bertolone. Mr. Bertolone owns this property here and is proposing to convey this approximately 2,000 square feet little area here to his neighbor to address an encroachment issue.
Oh,
So
okay.
he's asking that you endorse the plan indicating it's not a subdivision.
Okay. And is anything made non-conforming by this?
No.
Nothing is made non-conforming.
That's correct.
In fact, it looks like it might fix something. So,
It addresses the encroachment issue, right?
yeah, the pool. And the neighbor is here. Great. Terrific. So you are you, which property are you?
We're number 4, William Fairfield Drive.
You're number 4.
Could you identify yourself? Just your
My
name?
name's Aaron, A-A-R-O-N, last name's Mankey, M-A-H-N-K-E.
Okay.
Yeah.
And the property on the other side, they are not here?
Mr. Griffin is the engineer, so he's presumably on behalf of the applicant.
So you're on behalf of the applicant?
Correct.
Oh, okay, great. So I was thinking that you were working for.
Mr. Mankey's the beneficiary of this piece that's being excised out of 188 Cherry Street. It's around his pool that.
I'm sorry, could you
I
identify yourself?
apologize. My name is Jennifer DiCarlo. I'm with Heaney and Associates. I'm
Okay,
Mr. Mankey's attorney.
Thank you.
great. Just to make sure, I just want to make sure I know whether everyone's comfortable with this, but you represent 188 Cherry, not 4, and you're 4, so I'm comfortable.
Bob, can you just point out which is 4 and which is 188 from my,
Yeah, this is 4 is this one.
Okay.
188 Cherry here.
okay, thank you.
Does the board have any?
That was
We
my
don't
only
need to
question.
approve this, so it seems like
So everybody's happy.
a good idea if it satisfies everyone's concerns, and
$100.
y'all have spoken to each other about it, and,
Yeah. It's an amicable situation, if I may, Madam Chair.
yeah, sure.
It's simply to resolve an encroaching swimming pool. So it's a minimal amount of land that's being excised. You can see that it's kind of this teardrop shape. It's not creating a new buildable lot, and it's certainly not making any of the lots non-conforming. So we're certainly in support of it, and the owners of the land from which this piece is coming, they are the applicant. So everybody's very comfortable with the situation.
Great.
Good job.
Yeah, good job.
Usually
Thank
people are
you.
fighting. I know,
I know, it's
kill
great. It's great. I appreciate it. So, Margaret, what do we do? Just sign off, right?
Make a motion to endorse the A&R plan.
All right. I need a motion to
I'd like to
endorse the A&R plan.
I'd like to make a motion to endorse the A&R plan presented to us this evening.
Can I just, before we do that, just out of an abundance of caution, I didn't know that Mr. Carlo was representing one of the parties, and she works at Heaney and Associates. Just for the record, I have referred, I'm an attorney as well, I've referred matters to Heaney and Associates. Heaney and Associates have referred matters to me. I don't think that there's any conflict here, but I just want to state it for the record.
Thank you.
And we need a second on the motion.
Second the motion.
Second on the motion, and then a vote. All in favor?
Peter Clay, aye.
Dan Pascarello, aye.
Rick
Ann Weeks.
Woodland, oh, sorry.
Go ahead. No, you.
Rick Woodland, aye.
Ann Weeks, aye. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Sign this now, we're gonna come back to.
Yeah.
I think we
Nope,
should
if
sign
you
it
would-
now.
Oh,
I have this.
Don't wanna come
The
back, that's
fancy
not-
pen? No need to come back. And right at the top here.
You take it with you?
Unless you'd rather keep it and make a print or something like that. I can send
No,
you.
you
Has
gave
the
us printed
print
copies.
copies,
Yep. I'll
Did he?
just,
Yep, that's one of my husband's students.
I'll fill those out and hand those out.
I have a longer name, so I need more space.
You should count the letters in our name.
Even though I use my middle name, you have a longer name than me.
Probably.
First grade, I won an award for having the most letters in my name. Things you do to counting exercises when you're in first
Rick
grade.
Woodland, what's your middle name?
Frederick Stanley Woodland Jr.
Oh, yeah, did you
my
count
goodness.
all the letters in the junior?
If I have to remember it, I have to,
You couldn't get an Aloysius in there?
I have other middle names.
Yeah, you need 4 middle names. My son has 4 names.
My youngest.
4 names, no hyphen.
My youngest middle name is
Rick, would you mind
Bourgeois.
just dating that?
Where?
There's a date, it
Oh,
says
yeah.
date below the names,
511.
5/11,
I
yeah,
think Eleanor
23.
probably has the longest name, though. Even though James has 4 names.
Great,
4
thank you.
names are pretty
Thank you.
short.
All right, perfect.
Thank you.
Thank you, Bob.
It's always nice to have, oh, let me take that.
An easy
It's always
pen.
nice to have an amicable conversation.
Good night.
Have a good evening.
Take care.
Thank you.
Thank you so much, have a great evening.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
We're short here and
Yes, yeah, we have, the next item is update on the MBT communities regulation. Do you have?
Yeah, I left that on the agenda just so that we keep you kind of updated every month. We did have another meeting with the consultants. They've worked out a couple of scenarios for zoning overlays, which they'll be sharing with the group. We have, the consultant wanted us to meet on Tuesday, but that's not, I don't know if that's gonna work for the people in the group,
It's
but.
not gonna work for me.
They're at the point where they're ready to submit a memo, and we'll get that to the planning board probably at our next meeting next month.
Okay.
With suggestions on an overlay and parcels to zone for multifamily housing. Dan, do you have any more to add?
Yeah, do you want me to, so I think there are still 3 proposed areas, although in the memo I saw today, it looked like there were only 2 scenarios, but
Yeah, she's done 2, she's worked up 2 scenarios. The way that they do this is, there's a tool that they're using, it's an Excel spreadsheet that the states sent out, and it populates itself when you put certain information in, and then it tells you whether it's conforming, and there's a lot to it, but, so she took, I don't know, do you want us to discuss which parcels?
I don't think we need to go into that detail.
Yeah.
I was just gonna say that some of our requests for them to look at specific areas, they haven't exactly hit those areas, but Margaret understands how to use the tool that they're
good,
using.
good.
And we understand what we need to do, so it looks like where we're kind of gravitating towards is a parcel in what you identified sort of behind the CVS as part of it, and then we need to have 20-something acres total in,
It total, but
so-
only 5 need to be within the half mile.
right, so
So a
the,
smaller amount of acres.
Right.
so we've been looking at Boulder to satisfy the rest of the
Yeah.
area.
Did, so the Mastranzi memo that I looked at, we're not trying to pursue that small adjacent.
Just one thought. So I ran into this guy, Ben Timon,
Oh, Ben, I know Ben.
who's running for select board.
Oh, is he? I
Yes.
didn't know that.
And that's why I asked for John's email. I couldn't find it. I'm going to connect those 2 and let him see what he thinks about it.
That's
He's a
great,
land
great.
use lawyer.
Yes, I know, yes, he's a good one.
And I don't know how up to speed he is on the MBTA, but
Yeah, so I guess that's still in process, so it's,
oh, you know him well too. so
I
what am
know
saying?
Ben very well.
That's
Yeah, I
right.
know,
My
my
same
kids-
disclosure as the previous one
Well,
I
my
just did.
kids went to preschool with his kids, so.
Yeah, so, as far as the Mastronzi suggestion, I don't think it's dead or off the table, it's just we haven't.
Could you recap that for those who may not be working with
Yeah,
this so
so
closely?
it's, under the definitions in the MBTA statute, if we have something like
I think it's
11 or 12 acres less developable within a half-mile radius, we would be defined as a adjacent community, I think.
Adjacent small town.
Small town.
Small town, yeah.
An
Which
adjacent small
means
town.
Instead of
The bar's lower.
Yeah, instead of the
360,
360 something, it would
70.
be like 75
Yeah.
units.
It makes more sense for the size of the town, and it's the test for whether you're a small adjacent community or town or whatever the phrase is a population under a certain level. I think it's 7,000 something, and the developable land amount. And we just missed the developable land amount by we're either over or under by 11 acres.
Yeah, we're
Just
we're
over.
over
We're
by
over by like
11
11
acres.
So we have too much
We
developable
have
land.
too much developable
In the
land.
half mile.
to
But
be there,
a tiny amount.
but not a lot more. So then the question is, okay, is there some reason why some of this land that we think is developable is not?
I see.
You know,
Mhm.
is there
Can make a
some
case for that.
way to do that so that we're not, putting part of this out by the highway when the whole point of it is
Yeah.
happening around the train
then-
station?
And we also then gain control of where these units have to go.
Right.
You waive that half-mile thing.
And I heard maybe from Dan that there was some question about where these parcels be, the consultant maybe has different ideas on where these parcels might be located? Is that?
Well, that's a
the-
different thing. That's where,
Yeah, so in our-
that's if we didn't make this small
I see.
adjacent,
Assuming that
assuming we had to find.
that we have to comply with 365
Yeah.
units. That's what we've been going forward in the MBTA meetings, and we can, I believe we can comply. Like, we have different options that will be available to us. But the question is, how many acres do we want to put within downtown? Can I call it downtown? What do we?
Yeah, within the
Within the MBTA.
MBTA.
Within the radius,
half-mile
right?
radius.
developable station area.
And it gets into sort of the density thing. We have to put at least, it's just under 5 acres, 4 point something
And
acres.
just for those
contiguous.
who might be
Yeah.
listening, it's not that we're building anything or putting anything, it's that we're zoning so
Just
that
zoning.
it can be
Zoning
built
for it.
Right.
at some point. If other constraints were satisfied, which I'm not even convinced.
So what's come up
Right, that's
during
what I was-
these meetings a lot is the Boulder parcel. There was a feasibility study that said the highest and best use for that would most likely be residential or multifamily residential. And we've never done anything with it. I know it's come up for talk about commercial, but I don't think this would take commercial off the table either,
do
even if we.
multi-use,
No,
right?
we
Do
could,
multi-
you could still zone it,
Multi-use.
you could still zone it for commercial, and then the multifamily housing is an overlay.
Right.
So you could have both.
Right.
Yeah, you could still have both.
Yeah, so-
It has to be rezoned, but.
So we received today a memo with some technical things in it about a couple of options, but I sense, and you tell me, you've been in these meetings too, that I think what's gonna happen is Margaret's gonna work something up for us
Yeah.
after we have all the information.
Yeah, we'll get all the information from them, and then we'll have the tool. She's put in a lot of our information into the tool already, so once we have that, we can, fool around with it and put in different areas and different parcels and see how that works, before we make any decisions on zoning.
Yeah.
Thank you for the background. Because I know some people are really intimate in it, and I don't know that the whole public
Well,
is yet.
There's a lot of technical information that was coming at us very fast in these meetings, with PowerPoints and whatever. It's pretty technical, but what it comes down to is we're gonna have 2 or 3 options of, compliance zones that are
Somebody-
compliant.
Will somebody be able to net that out for people to understand that, who maybe aren't so technical?
Yes.
Okay.
Well, we're still waiting for them to do that
And
for
we're
us.
still thinking that we're still, so back to my original question, is the small adjacent community option just off the table?
It's not off
Is it
the
gonna be
table,
one of
but the problem with that is that you have to find 11 to 12 acres that can be restricted. The state has done an analysis of all the land in the state, pretty much,
Yeah.
and determined, based on wetlands, ownership, and use categories, which land is excluded. So all of the land that's excluded is not counted in your, it's
Total.
called developable station area.
Right.
So if you have under 100 acres in your developable station area, along with the population, you can be classified as that smaller community.
Right.
We're at 111. So
Right.
even though we could say that would be great if we could find 12 acres to get us under the 100, it's finding those acres and having someone put a permanent restriction on them. Because lands that are under conservation restriction, those are excluded. Parks and Rec land, the Pingree Park is
Yeah.
excluded.
Yeah,
So
I
it's
just,
finding
Wetlands is excluded, that kind of stuff.
Wetlands, yeah,
yeah, and what you're saying is that the state has done the mapping already,
they have.
so we don't have.
So we-
I understand the concept, I just
Yeah.
don't understand whether it's that still on the table to
It could still
explore
be
or
on the
not.
table, but it wouldn't be on the table for us to be able to say, well, we think that's wetlands. So we want.
Right, we don't have that option.
We'd
What
have
about
to
the-
find land to.
We went back and forth about the publicly owned land, right, with respect to the boulders. Our consultant seems to be taking
Yes.
the position that if it's town-owned land, it's excluded.
And the state is excluding all town-owned lands in their layer, unless, right,
What I
unless the
what I
land
was gonna
is-
say with
Well, it's
respect
already
to this
developed as a
option was,
residential.
is there an option for the town to buy 12 acres that would take 12 acres out of the equation?
If somebody in the half mile wants to sell 12 acres to the town, yes, I think the town could do that.
Is there any land that could be used as open space in these
It's-
acreage?
A lot of it is open space.
But it's open space right now, but
There is some property at the end of,
is it
on the property
usable
line at
open space, the
1A,
way you think of it?
that
Or is it-
large piece of
Or would you
property.
rather spend the money?
I was just thinking that there's.
On Main Street.
CPC, open space.
Our commercial district, you
Very-
Our
mean?
commercial district,
For that to be used
our
as-
commercial district is very lovely open space.
against something that really.
So anyway, to circle back to this, it's not dead. I think we're exploring it, but
Okay, that's helpful.
it doesn't sound like it's an easy hurdle to meet to find 12 acres and take it out of the
Right, okay, that's great.
equation.
Thank you.
Great.
All right, and then the next item on here, if we're through with MBTA communities, so it sounds like next time there'll be a memo?
They will, if I
That we
could
have to-
ask, do you think the planning board would want to have a working session, outside of our regular meeting time to really work on this? I can bring the
I think-
tool, we can, look at the maps, and talk about it a little more in depth with the planning board. I don't know if anyone's
Do we want to
interested.
do that before we have the memo from the consultant?
No,
I
no,
think
you
after
would have
that,
the
right?
memo
Yeah.
from the consultant, that gives you some ideas, but then I'm thinking, it would be helpful for me, I think, to have more people to work on it with.
Yeah.
And I think this board would probably be the best.
In
one.
theory, it sounds great. I mean, trying to schedule it might be
Yeah,
kind of
Do
a
you mean
nightmare,
a
but
special planning board meeting to
Yeah.
do it? Yeah, I think that makes sense.
yeah.
Because I think if we just devoted half an hour to an hour to this topic solely, we could make a lot of progress.
I wonder if it may be good to
I'm
have
thinking a
Joanne
few
there
more
too from
hours than
Well,
MPAC
maybe,
yeah, maybe.
to see how that might impact her. so to
just being
speak.
optimistic, Margaret.
Before we present it to
Impact.
the select board and,
English.
present it in a grand way to the public, I think it would be good for the planning board to really, let's look at it and see what we think is going to work out best.
Oh, so the other development, earlier on, we've talked a couple of times about, are we going to comply, or is there an option for non-compliance?
Right, that was my next
The
question.
Attorney General has come out since, I don't know, in the past month or
Saying,
2
no, no,
months.
no, you can't do that.
Just, yes, basically saying, no, you have an everybody has an obligation to comply with this statute, and if you don't, we're going to sue. So that's just something else to keep in mind.
Seems like a lot of money to spend on something. Yes.
Could be.
Yeah, so I'll talk to you and we can determine a good day that would work for everyone to get together.
Once we have this memo and,
Yep.
yeah, so after the next meeting, right?
Yes, yeah, we can wait till after the next meeting. There's no big
Summer.
rush on this.
Summer,
In the summer.
bring lemonade.
Thank you.
Meeting minutes. It's the next item.
You all should have gotten them.
I did not.
I
didn't
got,
take them with
I
me.
didn't get the joint minutes.
Oh, the joint one was not ready.
Okay,
Oh, okay.
good.
No, wait, you got the joint one with master plan, right?
But that was earlier. The
Yeah.
recent one's not ready.
The most recent ones weren't ready.
That's what your note said.
That's what May 2nd was the most recent.
Yeah, so those were not ready.
Okay.
But the other two, you should have the 413.
I
You did, you
sent some edits
some
to-
edits.
Catherine.
I have them. Thank you.
Can you throw them up on the screen?
You can't look at the executives, can Ann?
I
She
should
can't do
not.
the executive session.
Yeah, I think that's why I didn't
You should
Yeah.
do
get them.
executive session minutes in executive session.
Okay,
Yeah,
good.
Right, so they should be separated, so
Robin.
don't throw those up,
Because
but,
you don't wanna.
no, I don't
Right.
have,
You can put them
Just-
on an agenda for like a future executive session.
There is a problem. I run into this problem, not sure why. Hold on.
When I migrated to the Microsoft email system,
Yeah,
they've
I'm
lost
sorry.
a whole bunch of my files.
Um,
Do you want me to forward you that email?
no, you know what? I do have that email. Do you
Folders,
mind
I
giving
should
me a
say.
minute? I will pull those up.
nope,
Oh, no,
fine.
it won't work on here. I don't.
I don't know
we're
if
not
I
able
got
to
them
get our-
because.
Hold on.
I didn't have anything major.
Yeah, they were.
I don't think I got them because of the exec session.
Oh, that's good.
It's fine. I also am not very good at looking at home email
My glasses on.
when I'm really busy.
Here they are. Here's the regular ones. Can you see those?
Yep.
So there are your, in blue are your changes, Dan.
Right, except for
Okay. Which required.
the
yes.
grammatical things are not mine.
Oh, yeah, those are
That's-
just, that's the computer does that.
Speaking of the tree plan, is that all sorted? I saw the emails back and forth.
Yeah.
Good.
Yeah, it's fine. The decision's been given to the town clerk.
So these are really mine. The first change is just Dodgers Row doesn't have an apostrophe in it. Then down in the middle where it says Chair Weeks, it said identified there B2 instead of,
Which,
I think, which
oh yeah,
required.
which required two tree, yep.
I changed the spelling of aesthetically, not a big deal.
There was the motion, that's the thing to,
Yeah, what was changed there?
Okay.
nothing.
And then,
Oh, subdivision was 2 words instead of 1.
right here?
Yep.
Oh, yeah, that should be one.
And that's it on that page.
Okay, thank you for doing this.
No problem. It was just a stray 4 up there.
Viewed assigned trees identified to be removed, yep.
Okay.
We had that tree session last time.
Why power? That was just spelling
Yeah,
in accordance with.
DCR.
I think that might be it on
Landowners.
that. Nope.
One more?
Landowners. Ms. Hoffman spoke on, it looks like the meeting, or her meeting,
Spoke, I guess you could say about meeting with consultant.
or on her meeting.
Oh, I see.
On her meeting, either one.
You see that?
Spoke about her meeting, or on her meeting.
Got it?
You get that? Okay.
Uh-huh. And, this was the communities regulation, update on 128 Boulder Lane. What happened at the Beverly Planning Board meeting? Did you go?
You think it got continued?
It
Yeah,
got
got continued.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah. Oh,
Oh,
shoot.
That was input B.
Input B.
Yeah, there weren't any more edits, were there? Okay.
That was the last one.
And you're almost out of here already, right? You're gonna recuse yourself from the executive
Oh, yeah, I
session.
have to
Boy, you got a
leave,
quick
yeah.
night, boy.
I know, I can go watch the Celtics. Something to be said
I
for
don't know if I
that.
can handle that.
Here it goes.
Not well.
You gotta jiggle the cord.
Okay.
Okay.
Ann Weeks recused herself.
That's what came up with. I wonder if that-
Oh, and then, yeah, that last one.
The vote
We
adjourned
adjourned
to.
to executive session.
Yeah,
and then we adjourned
9:17.
the
From
meeting
that,
From
but
executive session.
that,
No, you were done by 9:17.
Nope,
That was when you left.
I don't think so. I think we
that's when
spent
we went to executive
quite a long
session.
Was it?
time with
Yep.
trees last time.
If you look at the executive session
All right.
notes, you have a later time in those.
We were here till 10 o'clock almost.
I'm sorry.
That's right, yeah. Yep, you're right, we were here till 9:50. Okay.
Ooh, 9:50, that's what that time should be then.
It's,
No, because you went into executive session and then I left and
That
then you.
sentence is meant to represent the time you adjourned.
Adjourned the
executive
whole
session,
meeting.
So I need to change.
oh,
the
okay,
time
so
on
then
that.
if then it's, if it's
Oh.
from executive session,
Yes.
it's 9:43.
Thank you.
Yep,
Okay.
And it needs to go back to from.
yep.
Yeah, I will change that.
Okay. You got that?
I do.
Okay.
All right, I need a motion to accept the minutes as edited
I
So
move.
moved. Oh, go ahead, Peter.
and a second.
Second.
And
Aye.
all in favor?
Clay, aye.
I will say it's unanimous. Then the executive session ones we need to skip, and then the May 2nd meeting with the AMPAC.
I forgot to send them.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I mean, we can put those off
It
till
was a
next time.
rather long meeting, and we drafted, what were the statements called, Peter?
Vision. The
Or vision
statements.
statements.
Yeah.
Very
It's
cool.
my
Those are
third
great
session
meeting.
on vision
We did a
statements
lot
in the
of
last year.
Vision statement drafting.
And
I thought it was good. It was very
yeah,
good.
but It was a,
It was good.
it was
It was
a
very
couple of
good.
hours, right?
Yeah.
Right, because we're going to
Yeah.
go through this process, and we need to know where we started, and then if things come up as a
can
blip
we,
at the
can we
end.
put the vision statements on the agenda next time so we can talk about them? Or
Yes,
just see them?
Why not?
they'll be in the minutes.
That
Yeah.
would be great.
Yeah.
No, they won't be in the minutes. We'll have to get them from the
I have a
consultant.
feeling that,
I have them.
Oh, okay.
She
I
was
have a
ready
feeling
to
that the
go.
consultant is going to incorporate them into what we
Yeah.
get back.
Right.
Yeah, okay.
And
Fair?
that part of it was recorded.
Yeah.
Okay,
Most of the meeting was recorded, so.
okay. Great.
Okay.
Other matters, this may not have reasonably been anticipated by the chair. I'm just going to make a pitch for people not to mow their lawns in May because we had a drought last year and we need to encourage pollinators. And they propagate in insects that birds love, propagating early spring in people's lawns, which are otherwise sort of biological deserts. So,
I have lots of weed patches on the side of my lawn, so I.
So don't
I'm
mow it.
encouraging. I never mow
if you
the
walk by
weeds.
my house and it looks ratty, you'll know why we're not mowing it.
Oh, that was your house when I was down on Juniper the other day?
No. No. All right. Any other matters that may not have been anticipated?
I don't think so.
No. Then, in that case, I will entertain a motion to go into executive session under General Laws, Chapter 30A, Section,
Think
or would you, you have the,
Leaving.
do you want me to recuse and give this to Dan?
Yeah,
Yes.
you have to make the declaration before the motion anyway.
Okay, great. Then I will recuse myself from the executive session and hand this. It was in
Thank you.
front of me, so I figured I was
So
meant to do
text
it.
us what's going on with the Celtics, okay?
Yeah, really. If I'm supposed to.
Do I have everybody's phone number? They haven't started yet, so
If you email them
I'll
to,
text them. I'll text them to who, I think I had, do I have your number in my phone? I might.
if you email them to Margaret, she can just
Yes.
post them.
Yeah, well,
I'll email them to
they
Margaret.
don't
I
video.
think we'll get,
Don't we turn this off?
Do you want to, can you wait a minute? Can you just continue recording till
Till
they
I
read
read
that?
So Dan
motion,
convenes.
yeah.
I have to leave, though,
I have to
so,
wait for Ann to go.
yes, I'm sorry. I'll
Take
turn off
care,
my
good to
mic.
see you.
Oh, I can't turn it.
No, that's
Yep.
You
okay.
don't need
then.
to worry about it.
Great.
It was good to see you,
Enjoy your time at home.
See you too. I appreciate it.
sorta, quickly.
Thank you. Yeah, quickly.
Kids will appreciate hearing they don't use money.
Goodbye, Ann. So the next item on the agenda is the executive session pursuant to General Law, Chapter 30A, Section 21A3, to discuss strategy relating to pending litigation known as Hamilton et al. Versus Weeks et al. Land Court Case Number 22 Miscellaneous 000105-MDV. I declare that an open meeting may have a detrimental effect on the litigation position of the board. And I will entertain a motion to go into executive session under Chapter 30A, Section 21A3, to discuss strategy with respect to litigation known as Hamilton et al. Versus Weeks et al. Land Court Case number
I'm sorry, Dan.
20.
You
Yes.
had already read that, so now one of the members should say, "So moved,"
So moved.
Okay, great.
and then somebody.
have a
could
second?
Second.
All those in favor?
Did you read the case already?
I did the first time around. I said Hamilton et al. Versus Weeks
Yeah.
et al. Land
You
Court
read the first
Case
one.
number. So let's go roll call here. Mr. Woodland,
Yes.
Mr. Clay,
Yes.
and I vote yes as well.
Thank you, guys. You
And
can.
then not to return.
Yes, and we're going to adjourn directly from executive session.